Hello and welcome to this pick a card reading. Hope you guys are doing well and in high spirits. We have 1, 2, and 3 here. As a reminder, please remember to only take what resonates. If you're drawn to more than one pile, that's fine. And yeah, anything that is fear-based or doesn't feel good for you in these messages, you can always cancel, clear, reject, okay? You can always email frequencyoftheheart@gmail.com for personal reading inquiries. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to put pile 2 and 3 up here and out of the way. Let's begin with pile 1 here. Hello, pile 1. So your message is 100% responsibility. This says your life is a dream and your dream is your life. Behold the fact that all facets of your life are your co-creation. As you replace blame with 100% self-responsibility, you will discover you have more power than you realized to enjoy your dreamy life. That's a beautiful message right there. So this is about understanding that we are essentially more in control of our reality than we realize at times. It's kind of stepping into that, okay, I'm here, I'm now, and that's because part of me wants to be. It's also the recognition of how all things, all people, all events have their place and purpose, even some of the worst. And it doesn't justify it. It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't mean that the pain associated with things is not valid. It just means at some point we progress enough in our journey that we can come to a place where we understand that, everything is essentially a part of our creation, of something that our soul is trying to show us in a way. And the process of taking self-responsibility, so it doesn't mean that we blame ourselves for what somebody else does, but just taking responsibility for our life and our part, and recognize that maybe we're not, where we used to be, or in a more helpless state that we could have felt that we were in at some point in our life. The more we start to get adapted to this concept and basically accept it, the more that we can come into our own power, and moving forwards feel more empowered to make these decisions essentially in our life, from a place of, I can affect my reality. I do have some kind of say or control over what goes on and what happens here. It's this vibe, So let's just go ahead and pull a couple of cards here for you to add on to this message. Anything to add for group 1, please and thank you. Any message to add for group 1? Yeah, again, a feeling of like, I feel out of control at times of my life. I don't feel like I have a say in what's going on. I don't feel like I have any, effect here, something like this. And also maybe understanding that the bosses, the authority figures, teachers, parents, whoever that's held authority over you in your life, they no more have that authority over you, or they don't have the authority over you any more than what you give them now than they may have at some point. There is very much a feeling of empowerment that happens with this. And the more that you reveal truths in your own self, things that are unclear, the more that you understand your personal power. This is an energy of soft control. You don't have to control things the way other people did in your life, but you are coming in to understand how to balance your power, with your who you are now, essentially. This is an energy of balance, self-control, flow, just basically of coming up into who you are, how powerful you are. And some of this is through revealing truths to yourself, or validating yourself, or journaling out like, this is the reality of this situation. And again, taking this responsibility. I feel like some things have been emotionally unclear because we haven't wanted to look at them because they've been too hard, These could be things that have created mistrust and energies of feeling guarded. Again, energies of feeling like we can't release, or we're not in our full control. But it's like you're so close, And if you look at these and you remind yourself, I am here, I am now. What choice do I have in this moment? What control do I have in this moment? Not even control, but how can I direct my life here and now? there's a reminder here that we always have a choice if we give ourselves permission to have a choice, to take that choice. We could feel like I don't have a choice because I have to pay this or do this, but in the end, you still have a choice. Doesn't mean it's your fault if you have to do something to survive, not at all. It's not about fault. It's more about empowering yourself by trying to take another view on things, that you do have a say, that you do have a responsibility or a choice. That's a really tough lesson or a really tough message to convey, because there's a line between like extreme opposites, about like saying 100% responsibility, but not saying like I blame myself for this, or it's my fault this happened, because it's not like that. It's very much about looking at things in a more empowered way, basically. That would be the best way just to say it, is just looking at things in a way that reminds yourself that you actually are that co-creator, which is what this strength card really shows, that you really are, in the driver's seat in many ways. And that you do have the power to make your own choices, and that it's okay if you don't make the choices that lead to where you want to go. Some of this is really about self-acceptance. It's about accepting who you are now, what you do now, and going on that journey of the choices that you make now, and letting them be okay, giving yourself permission for those things to be okay. You're not here to know everything or to do everything perfectly. You're here to grow, to learn, to be a human, to have a human experience, a human being. That's where you're at. Anything else for group 1? Please and thank you. And I do feel no matter how you are able to grasp this message or other things in your life, no matter what, I feel there's a shift here from you feeling under the thumb of somebody or controlled by something or someone in this world, even by the government, even by society, to feeling more empowered and feeling more like, no, I do have a choice. This is like a divine strength, almost a divine feminine strength that rises up regardless of gender here. Yeah, and I think part of this is actually because you've experienced hard, defeated energies before, where you felt powerless and you felt maybe like you failed, or you felt like something really was painful and endings were really hard. It's like this has helped you to rise up. This hasn't broken you. This hasn't taken you down. It actually has helped be a catalyst to pull this strength out of you. Nice. Yeah. This has made you more emotionally mature and capable. You could be dealing with somebody as well who's very emotionally mature and generous. Somebody who embraces their originality and their uniqueness, and this inspires you. Or you could be doing this and inspiring others. And that's another thing about this, is remember that you inspire others to feel empowered and to take responsibility when you do. I think the word choice for me, like taking responsibility, is a little triggering, because it's like you need to take responsibility for what you've done here, and it's like, first we need to acknowledge like where the root of things is at, like where it began that we felt disempowered or felt wronged or had this taken away from us, because we have. And then by acknowledging it, we're able to kind of come back to the now here with that release in place, that acknowledgement and that release, and say, what can I do with today? And this just helps us to create a life that is more to our liking, essentially. So you guys, I really hope that makes sense. That's a really like one of those messages that kind of is tricky with, I feel like, the programming and the mindset, but it's only one of just letting you know that you're coming into a time where you're going to feel a lot more in the driver's seat than you have for a while, in a very positive way in your life, regardless of what is happening. And even despite what is happening in your life or in the world, even the things that feel like they're countering that, they could actually be pushing you to this, and that's really positive. So an example that keeps coming to mind during this reading is like, everything to do with abortion and taking away the rights of women, but it's like there's a feeling of like fighting back and not even allowing the rights to be taken away on an energetic level. It's like, yes, this is happening on a physical level, but this is also raising something in me, like a divine, like, no. And that's just one example, but it's just the idea of something that is rising up inside ourselves. So much love, We're moving on to group 2. All right. Welcome, group 2. Let's see. So your message, you had 2 cards for your message. What is the one thing you must do? There are many things you can do with your time, but what is the one thing you must do? What is that thing you do that causes time to stop, that engages your whole soul, that truly contributes to people? What would happen if that was all you did? Stop waiting and get to it. Nice. A lot of encouragement about following your dreams, essentially. We also have the knower that knows. There's a knower within you who always knows what to do, where to go, and with whom to connect. The evidence of being attuned to this voice is that you are flooded with peace, ease, grace, and an electric vitality. Amplify the voice of the knower by acting on its wisdom. Beautiful. So you know what it is that you want to do, what you must do. Some people, for example, they must do art. They just must, or they will just go crazy. They must do art. It's that kind of an energy. And maybe for some, it's not as obvious. It's something that feels as natural and normal as breathing, so you barely recognize it, But this is a lot about trusting yourself, even if it doesn't logically always make, all the sense in the world. Trusting what it is that guides you, where you're guided, and what it is that you really just know that you need to do for your wellness and your sanity, whatever you love to do, okay? Yeah, there's no choice here. There's no decision here. This is something your mind is already made up. Your heart has already made up to do. For some of you, you could be releasing an energy of waiting on something and moving into an energy of acting on something instead, moving forward. So releasing stuff from the past and moving into the forwards motion of it. Maybe you had a dream, something that you loved before, and you let it go for a moment. And now, instead of trying to pick it back up, you're letting it go and trying to do it in a different way that is attuned to the now, okay? We also have here a reminder to rest, nourish yourself, self-forgiveness, meditation, reflection. This brings a lot of clarity in, a lot of renewal, a lot of innocence and happiness. You don't need to offer anything to anyone right now. It's actually a really important time for you to take care of yourself. Unless you really feel like you want to give to someone, but you don't need to offer or accept at this moment. Right now, this is really about you working on what you need to work on, maybe something that you've put off for a long time. You're kind of in your own process right now, okay? Anything else for group 2? Please and thank you. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of clarity. Maybe you did in the near past here. Trust this clarity that you get. Try not to doubt it, okay? And I don't feel like you are doubting it, but trust it. And again, you can reinforce it with that rest and meditation, even prayer. Forgiving yourself can clear out a lot of resentments and doubts as well. And not accepting or even something from somebody you don't want to, or even contemplating certain things. It's kind of just like being there on your own behalf, okay? Interesting, coming through on your own behalf. You and you alone know the truth. You know what is right for you. Clarify this, please. Yeah, you may be uncertain on how to cultivate financial wealth or stability or support, or you may battle sometimes with feeling worried about being abandonment issues, something like this. Issues, it's not really issues, but feelings about this that could be in the way at times. This is saying just move forwards with your intuition, with your knowing, with what you feel. Trust in your heart, the stability that you feel, it'll bring what you need to you, and you're going to have a lot of success moving forwards on something here. I feel for some of you, it's a passion, a project, a hobby, a creativity, something that you might want to grow into something bigger. In the past, you could have fought the flow here. You could have argued against something or tried to fight it. I feel now it's more about moving forwards in flow, knowing what you know. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Let me just look at your original cards once more. Yeah. Exactly this. The evidence of being in tune to this voice is that you are flooded with peace, ease, grace, and an electric vitality. So yeah, make sure to listen to what you feel in your heart, in your chest, in your body. When something feels like that for you, it's not wrong. it's right for you, no matter how logical or illogical it feels, okay? All right, you guys, that's what we have for you. Sending you lots of love. And for group 3 here, let's see what your messages are. You also had 2 messages. Heaven on earth. Heaven is always just a perception away, available every day in every way. You are in heaven now, even as you are on earth, surrounded by loving souls, exploring and expanding in consciousness. Spend today seeing earth through the eyes of heaven. Beautiful. It's a lot about your perspective and your vibration and what attunes you and lifts you into that vibration. We also have a loving parent. As if you were their mother or father, wrap your arms and heart around the people who have been unkind. Forgive them, for they have forgotten their way. Don't take their immature behavior personally. Instead of plotting retribution, just love them, from afar if need be, and love yourself for being so illuminated. And this is a matter of personal power. This is like when we feel disempowered, we feel more the need to be angry or fight against or be like that was wrong or unfair or, whatever it may be. But when we feel more like in our power and we know our power, I think it's easier for us to have that compassion, almost like we would for a little kid that just doesn't know better. And this is kind of the energy that we see here. Also, this releases you from negative vibrations and helps you to achieve that heaven on earth state that they're talking about here, where we're able to see the brighter picture and perspective, not weighed down by so much negativity or such a harsh perspective, essentially. Yeah, I feel like some of you have been feeling very disempowered, especially around manifestation and stuff in your reality here. And this even around people who are distorted or manipulative. And this is like, hey, let go of this. Just let go of this and move forwards. There's more waiting for you, I know it's not as easy as just letting go at times, but right now it's about releasing certain attachments and moving forwards for you, on your behalf, for your wellness and for your betterment. Rest, nourishment, meditation will bring you a lot of clarity of mind, self-forgiveness, recognizing that we're all innocent at our core, recognizing it about yourself so that you're able to see that in others is very nourishing and helpful for you. Praying for some of you, or that something that is associated to praying also can be an assistant. I think group 2 had a similar message there. And then the Empress says that you are rising up into your power. And by doing this, you're rising up more and more into that energy where you're able to just see beyond and to open up and expand your own world and your own tree of life here, and to grow it with that spirit and that even material wealth, but also that compassion and that love, and to kind of be an example in a way. People always tend to be more influenced or more, have revelations by seeing what somebody does, like by when you set an example, by just living your own truth, and when you try to teach, show, or argue against. Anything else, please and thank you. I think you're getting new mindsets as well here. Somebody, maybe multiple people, energies in this world have really broken the heart here. And that's been really hard for you to get back from, perhaps. I mean, of course, but this is saying like it's time to pull yourself out of waiting and time to pull some of these hidden truths out of yourself, and to remember what it is that your soul knows and that your heart has always known. It's a beautiful message. I feel like there's a lot of choice moving forwards. Choice of how you see things. Choice of what thoughts to engage in and what thoughts not to engage in. There's also a choice. Do I want to go down this adventure, a new adventure, or not? Do I want this hard work or burden or not? Do I want clarity and truth? Do I want change? There's a lot of choices here of you choosing what it is that you want in your life. And I feel like shifting focus away from others. I also hear the word blame shift. But others who have been, whatever to you or with you is going to help grow your own positive bubble, basically. and to make things more clear for you in many ways, in many levels. I do feel like there's some kind of an ending with maybe a fire energy or just a very hard work thing here. And that's an ending of your choosing. You are choosing this ending. Anything else, please and thank you. I think you're going to feel a lot more empowered moving forwards. I see you like on a sailboat just sailing forwards. All right. All right, you guys, those are your messages. We send you lots of love, lots of wellness. Take care. Lots of good changes happening. All right, be well.